Nuraiza Untao rushed her 1-month-old baby to this nearby clinic. Michelle has been suffering from dehydration at the evacuation center. Michelle was only a few days old when they fled, and their situation here has been difficult. She knows Michelle needs better medical care, but she's poor, she says, so she's helpless.
Life has always been hard. Why did this happen to us? I hope they haven't forgotten us, you see.
They are among the thousands of residents who fled Marawi several weeks ago when fighting broke out between a local group called the Maute and government forces. Displacement has taken its toll on civilians. At least 30 people have already died, most of them children and old people. Dehydration and other waterborne diseases are the biggest killers. And as the fighting drags on, that number is expected to rise. The government says some of those who died already have pre-existing medical conditions. Rainy season has made the situation in the camps even more difficult. The camps are packed. More than 300 families are housed in this center alone. Basic sanitation facilities are limited. Food and medical supplies are fast running out. Most of those living here have been poor even before the conflict started, and their situation is expected to worsen. The Philippine military is facing an enemy which numbered in the hundreds, but it's unable to say when the siege will be over.
The reports that we received are home-based IDPs. As I've said, it's more difficult, to get data in number, especially if the victims are home-based, because they're living with their family elsewhere, not in the evacuation centers.
People say they have been dragged into a conflict they have little to do with. They have lost their homes, their jobs, and their children are unable to go to school. This woman is in labor, but she is alone. Her husband is in the evacuation center to look after her children, she says. Since fighting broke out, so many women have given birth prematurely. Like Aliyah Nasser, who has just given birth to her 10th child just hours before. Aliyah says she grew up with stories of her parents who lived through the difficult period of martial law in the 1970s. More than 40 years later, martial law has been reimposed across the region of Mindanao. So she named her son Marshall, in keeping with these uncertain times. Jamela Alindogan, Al Jazeera, Sagiran, Lanao del Sur, Southern Philippines.